So welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel, and today I will be reviewing Candyman 2021. This is my spoiler review. So if you have seen the movie, this is the video for you. But if you haven't seen the movie yet, go check out my spoiler-free review. This will have all the spoilers. This will be like a full breakdown of all of my thoughts combined in one. I'm filming this the same day as I saw it, and as I filmed my spoiler-free review, let's just hop right into this thing. So, we follow this guy, our lead. He's kind of like a Helen character in a lot of ways. He's a struggling artist, a painter, and he gets drawn into this world. He gets drawn into the Helen case, then then the Candyman legend myth. He gets drawn into all of that. But before all of that, he's told about this with his group of friends. One of the friends tell the tale of Helen, and I love how they tell that. There's some really cool scenes where it's like these puppets. Like I like that. I hope that was cool and creative. And again, like I said in my spoiler-free review, this is how you do a direct sequel. This is how you do a direct sequel. You treat it as a remake. You market it as a remake. You make it its own thing, but it's still a direct sequel. And that's what this is. This movie, like, the best word to describe it is shocking and surprising. That's the best way to describe it. And again, one of my theories is true. Now, this is where we start to go into, like, deep spoilers. He turns into Candyman. Technically, he turns into Candyman, which I'm so glad one of my theories was right. But the main Candyman that we do follow throughout this movie, we get like a little backstory of him, like he was handing out candy to children and all this, and come to find out like he was innocent or whatever. Oh, that was really cool. And what I found unique about this Candyman that we mainly followed throughout the movie. You heard what I said, the main Candyman in this movie. Yes, there's more than one Candyman, which is awesome and brilliant in my opinion. I'll explain that here in a minute. But what makes this Candyman more unique? People may bring up, well, he don't talk, I think I know the reason. This Candyman is more supernatural. He is more supernatural he's not really almost a person. Where unlike the original Candyman and even our new Candyman, towards the end of this film, where you could tell they're more brutal, they're more of a presence, they're more like a human. Yes, they're a spirit, but you know what I mean. You can see them more. Unlike the main Candyman that we do follow in this, you barely see him. It's very supernatural. It's very supernatural, this Candyman is. But again, this had a lot of twists and a lot of turns in this. And you're probably wondering to yourself, how does our main lead turn into Candyman technically? I got a great reason, and it's so brilliant. I love it. So, in the very first Candyman, we know Helen took this baby and all that, and she gave it to this woman. And you guessed it, he's the baby from the first movie. He's the baby from the first movie, and now he's Candyman. I did not see that coming. I did not think they was going to go into that direction. I just thought we was going to follow a new Candyman. But this movie ties so perfectly into the original while doing its own thing, and I love that. Our lead, not only does he have ties and connections to Helen and that previous film, but he's our new Candyman. He's our new Candyman. And I think that's one reason why this Candyman really doesn't talk and he's more supernatural. This movie was a stepping stone. Ever how you feel about that, I think it paid off here. This movie was a stepping stone for a part 2, a part 3, where we get our new Candyman, or perhaps Tony Todd's Candyman may return, or both of them may be in the sequel. Again, spoiler review, you can see the excitement in my face. This had, I was so excited to see this in the cinema. If you haven't seen the film, turn it off. Turn off this video if you haven't seen it. Tony Todd is Candyman in this movie at the end of the film. He takes So like our lead man, he's obviously Candyman. After he kills one of the last cops, his face shifts into Tony Todd's face, and he's back. And if you stay and watch the end credits, you see the little puppet scenes, which I love. You see them. You see the little puppets, and at the very end, you could see a hint that there possibly could be more than 1, 2, and 3 Candyman. There's a lot of different Candymans. I love that idea because technically, like, you can have every Candyman movie. Technically, you can treat every Candyman movie as an anthology where it's a different Candyman for each movie. You know, like maybe in part 2 we get Tony Todd's Candyman. It's just a straight direct sequel to this one. You know, the possibilities are endless for part 2, and that's what I love. And it is a cliffhanger ending. It leaves you on the edge of your seat. It leaves you wanting more, because this ending, like, what does it mean? Like, does it mean Tony Todd is back as Candyman? Like, does it mean Tony Todd's Candyman is back and he's going to be the Candyman in part 2? Or does it mean kind of the same thing, but our lead becoming Candyman and, you know, awakening Candyman and spreading his word? Did he awaken the original Candyman? Did he awaken Tony Todd's Candyman? You know, or could he have awakened Tony Todd's Candyman, but our new Candyman will be in the film as well? Basically, we could have 2 Candymans in part 2. Think about that. Like, one victim sees the original Tony Todd's Candyman, but then the other one can see the new Candyman that we have in this movie. The possibilities are endless, and I talk about in my spoiler-free review about a television series. They could turn this into a television, you know, series, where again, very much like a anthology. Then at the end, it all ties together. Each episode could be about a different Candyman and their little backstory. That could be awesome too. Like, Jordan Peele and all of them, I have to really give them a round of applause for bringing back a horror icon. This is going to make Candyman popular again, and I love that. Again, the cinematography, the score, the message that was in this movie, everything, the acting, the cinematography is I love it. Like I said in my spoiler-free review, there are some scenes, particularly in kills, I wish they would have saved for the movie, but regardless, this is surprising because you have a new Candyman. Not only do you get a new Candyman, but you get Tony Todd's Candyman back too. Like, that is so brilliant, and I want more. Like, I want more of Jordan Peele's Candyman. I want more from this universe. You know, seeing that shocking ending, seeing he was the baby from the first movie, and seeing just all these little connected tissues. I keep sounding like a broken record. This is how you do a direct sequel. This is how you do it. You don't follow in the footsteps of Halloween 2018. If you want to do a direct sequel, you do what this one did right here. It's hard to say what my favorite part of this movie was, but it probably had to be the scene with Tony Todd. Like, I love that. You know, I think they did a brilliant job with the promotion and keeping this movie such a secret. Like, we speculated all the way for a long time, you know, was Tony Todd going to be in this? I'm so glad there wasn't like any leaks about that or anything. I'm glad Universal, MGM, and all of them kept a tight lid on this movie. Wow, because, and you even get a little bit of Tony Todd's Candyman backstory in this, done in like a little puppet way. I love that. I thought that was creative. It's just, wow. Like, there was some jaw-dropping moments in this, and I think the highlight of this whole movie was the ending. Like, I love everything. Like, I love a lot of the kills. I love the whole movie. I think that would be the most shocking moment, seeing Tony Todd back as Candyman. What does that mean for part 2? Could it mean he's back, and and we get a could that mean like in a part 2, where in part 2 we learn more about Candyman's motive, Tony Todd's Candyman? He just wanted to be awakened so he could become strong again or whatever, and now he's back. Or could it mean he's back, but also we got this new Candyman? So meaning 2 Candymans in Candyman 2. I think that's pretty creative, and maybe they can like do that and kind of have like a tagline that kind of goes with it. Like this one, I believe their tagline was like "Say my name." Then they can have like another one. The possibilities are endless what they could do with a part 2. If there is, I'll be honest with you, I am expecting an announcement sometime early next year for Candyman Part 2. I am expecting an announcement early next year. I am expecting it. This lived up to my expectations. I encourage you to go see this in the cinema. I really encourage you to go see this thing, because start to finish, wow. That's my, just, like, again, Jordan Peele did it. Like, Jordan Peele and the director, they just outdid themselves with this. Not only, like I said, keeping a tight lid on everything, but the story, where it went, and all the jaw-dropping moments, and how this ties into that. It's amazing. And wow, I just love it, because I think that was a brilliant way of saying, like, this is why Tony Todd's Candyman isn't in this movie, you know, because there's different Candymen, I guess you will call them, right? I thought that was a cool and creative way to do that narrative. I love it. As of now, I really can't find anything wrong with it. I say it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Wow. It's still going through my head. Everything's still going through my head. Like, I would love to see this again, because it's worth to go see it in the cinema. It's worth to go see it 1,000 times in the cinema, because it was just that good, in my opinion. You know, the message came across good, the story was good, the acting was good, the cinematography was good, the story, how it tied all the way back to the first one. And again, like, if more horror movies want to do a direct sequel, let's do what this one did. Let's not do what Halloween 2018 did. Let's do what this one did, where you market it as a remake, where you keep the thing a tight lid, you keep it as a mystery, you don't know where the story's going, and you find out early in the movie that, hey, it's a direct sequel, but it's still a remake because it does its own thing, but it's tied in to the original movie. Candyman 2021, final thoughts, an amazing film. I loved it. Thought it was fun, thought it was interesting. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Stay tuned for my Candyman ranking, because I think that's going to actually shock some people, because right now, as I'm thinking of the ranking in my head, I'm struggling with 1 and 2. I'm struggling with that ranking in my head already. So stay tuned for that. I'll catch you guys in the next video.